Hello everybody, welcome. Drishti Center channel in YouTube with teachers from all over the world, Mexico, English, Spanish, bilingual. Please subscribe if you feel this content is being helpful for you and you want it to be helpful for others. You just need to subscribe, and if you want to donate, underneath you can scroll and you will see the donation button on the bottom. I'm Ana Paula Hernandez, and I'm gonna be sharing today Yin Yoga, intermediate to advanced, and a classic form. We've been teaching in the channel a lot of beginner, a lot of gentle Yin. Well, today is a real Yin class where the holdings will be between 1.5 minutes to 2 to maybe 3, maybe sometimes 4. As you wish, yoga, as always. Please, if you need to tone this down, came out earlier, put more props. I'm gonna show you what I have right now. For my props, it's a cushion. Today the class will be in English as well. We have a blanket and we have a bolster. And maybe if you have it at home, you can add a block as well. So let's begin into centering. If you are a fan of Yin Yoga, if you know a little bit of the methodology of Yin Yoga, we always need to know where we start, where we are, our starting point to find out where our body is at today and our emotional edge and our spiritual edge and our physical edge. To breathe into the holdings is also crucial into Yin Yoga, so right away as you close your eyes, lengthen spine. Please feel the flow of your breath coming in and out of your body. A lot of yoga teachers tell you empty your mind of all thoughts, but sometimes that's impossible. And especially in Yin Yoga, which is a calmer style of yoga, more quiet style of yoga, maybe the mind goes a little bit loopy, repeating the same thoughts like a broken record. In order to get to know a little bit of more of the shadow of the Yin, the invitation today is to see if you can observe the thoughts, and instead of being a white noise that is currently coming up to you into your sleep, into your silence, into your quiet moments, and you decide to put it aside like it didn't exist, in today's practice in Yin Yoga, we're gonna observe the psychological edge and see how much of those thoughts can I hear, listen to, overcome them. Continue breathing. More advanced styles of Yin Yoga include long periods of silence. So in this class, I'm gonna give you form, I'm gonna give you alignment, and then I'm gonna give you at least a minute each holding of peace and quiet. Bring your hands into your chest. I salute everybody from your homes, from my home. Om Shanti Shanti, Namaste, and welcome to Yin practice. A lot of people have the discussion of, should I warm up before Yin Yoga? If you're trying to do Yin Yoga Classic, the answer is no. The answer, if you warm up before Yin Yoga, is you're doing Yin Yang, which is a different style. The whole idea of Yin Yoga is to give continuous stress into the body for prolonged time without movement and holding the asanas. So today we're gonna go classic with the first yin asana. Please be careful, herniated disc, prone disc, inflammation on your back and sciatica. You're gonna do the adaptations that are needed. Shake your legs in front of you, relax your legs, and we're gonna start with Uttanasana in Hatha, and in Yin we call this dangling. So carefully here, you're gonna bring your feet right hip width apart, push into your hands, taking a deep inhale, lifting the seat bones up to the ceiling. As you can see right now, my feet is hip width apart and parallel. And obviously, right away, you're gonna start feeling your lower back, which is natural and normal. Feeling the lower back doesn't mean you feel pinching, electrical sensation, or discomfort. If you're gonna do dangling and you want to get yourself into a more safe spot, if you have any pre-existing conditions, the advice will be to microbend the knees, and when you bend the knees, you will take the weight out of the lower backs and still get the benefits on the upper body, which is dangle like a pendulum. Being absolutely relaxed with your upper body, with your head, with your vertebrae. So you choose in here if you want to keep your knees bent. You're gonna choose here if you want to work with your legs straight. It's your call. And then you're gonna choose an arm variation. First, make sure that your upper body is heavy and dangling. Very good question, especially for intermediate and advanced yin stresses. Should I go all the way back and lock my knees? Each body has a story. So for some people to go ahead and go fully into a lock knees can create a little bit of instability on the joint, especially if your ligaments are loose, which we recommend a tiny bit of a bend. But some bodies are very rigid. It's a good idea that you go into your max, so you start getting a little bit more flexible into the back of your legs or hamstrings. So there's never a definitive answer in alignments in yin yoga, and it's something you gotta understand. That's why this system is so interesting, so particular, because it needs to be based in self-knowledge. Cup each elbow with each palm. If you wish, you can just let the arms dangle like two noodles. You're still resolving, you're still in principle of Tattva 1 and 2, fixing, resolving, finding edges, finding breath. And the final and last principle, Tattva of Yin Yoga, is to hold, to be, to relax. Connect to your breath. Tune in with all the sensations that start happening in your body. Your calves, your legs, your upper body. And remember, at any moment past this, you can come down if you need to. For a little bit more advanced, we're gonna hold another minute in here. Need to be careful if you have high blood pressure and your head is past below the knees. Maybe a contraindication to hold for such a long periods of times. Come down immediately. But if you're fine, you're gonna hold in here. Last 5 breaths, count them. When you're done with your 5th breath, what we're gonna do is slowly open your feet a little bit wider. Heels in, toes out. Take a deep breath, inhale. Careful, red flag for your knees. If you are advanced in yin yoga and you're tuning into these classes because you know all these arrangements, and squat just feels so wonderful after dangling. You're gonna resolve where your feet needs to be. Some people like to work the feet close together and more parallel, walking up into an upper body yin yoga experience with the chest and the torso open. Some other students like to work the feet wider, heels open, and just kind of a more sinking sensation into the hips. And of course, some heels will be doing this because Achilles tendon is genetically shorter, or for whatever reason shorter. If that's the case, you put a full blanket or a bolster and prop the heels if it's necessary. And if none of these works, you can come down and sit down into your block and do it propping into your seat balance to not distress the knees. So we still again in first and second Hatha, which is resolving the edges, getting the right place to be, comfortable place to hold. Right away, find peace and quiet, find the breath. And the last tattva is to stay and to remain still for a few moments. One more time. Breath is needed to flow in and out from your body. As you are into this pose, if alarming pain begins in your knees, please sit down and do any other hip opener that you wish to do. I took my first yin class in 2005 in Vancouver, British Columbia with Bernie Clark. At the moment, we worked together in the same yoga studio, and he came with this incredible system, and I never felt anything like before. Since that moment to right now, 2020, it's been almost an everyday practice with yin yoga. At the end of 2005, I did my certification as well, the first one ever done in BZ with Bernie. And since then, I've been sharing myself classes, workshops, and teacher trainings. And right now, it's a good moment to see if this is speaking up to you, because it's a great balance to yang poses. It's a great balance to a yang lifestyle. It's a great balance for bodies that are constantly in motion. So, as it spoke to me more than 15 years ago, maybe it will speak to you today. With the chance, let it come into your body and see how nice it's just to be and hold. Take another inhale. On the exhalation, we're gonna do another variation of squat into garland, letting yourself go down, chin into your chest, absolutely relax. You're gonna feel a stretch all the way from the tailbone to the top of the head. And if you want, you can bring the arms beside you, grab into the ankles. And when you grab into the ankles, we are going to go down, down, down.
Calm your mind, relax. Be careful with facial expressions. Sometimes your face can get a little bit rigid, especially in the forehead, especially right here between the eyebrow. Let your face do yoga as well. Holding the back of the ankles, letting yourself drop heavy. You're gonna feel the huge opening into your lungs, into your back body. All the spine behind you opening like the pages of a book right in the middle. And now, on the next inhale, put your hands back to the ground. Lift the chest. Come up, lift up.
And on the exhale, go forward, forward. Ooh, and relax into your legs. I want to remind you that I am doing the class with you. So if I move slowly from one asana to the other, if my facial expression changes from time to time, it's because the same sensations or close enough sensations that you're having at home, I'm having them in my body right now. So there's a lot of sensation on the back of the legs, in the lower back. Bring your hands behind you. Classic counter pose for squats and hip openers will be windshield wipers, so you allow the knees to move to one side and into the other, really proning into outer and inner rotation of the hips, both at the same time. Good. Okay, and now we're gonna move to our next yin pose. We're gonna get into sitting. Making sure right here that you have your mat into a horizontal way, or you can work always with two mats so you have mobility in all parts. This is the way that I like to work when I'm doing home practice. Bring one leg to the side. We're gonna go to dragonfly, hand into the center, and you're gonna open the leg to the other side. Now, if you are very tight into your hamstrings, you're gonna feel that the legs cannot relax. I'm mimicking a little bit the scenarios, and the knees could be lifted this way. What I recommend if you're in one of these cases is to bring propping into your leg. I'm gonna prop one leg with a full blanket, and that will make the leg have a surface or something to find an edge or a limit, and then the leg can relax. We call these finding compression, right? So if I will be like this and the leg shaking, this will never relax. So yin yoga could not happen into that joint. That's why you bring this and you create an stabilization here, and now the leg can relax and you can experience yin yoga. Now, if you have no problem with this, you can bring the legs straight. We're gonna do a little bit of circular movements for a moment. Imagining that as you breathe, you go and warm up a little bit into the pelvic bowl. The pelvic bowl, I call it the receptaculus. It gets the head of the femur. It looks actually like a bowl, so you're warming around it. And now let's do those beautiful rounds to the other side. Inhaling and exhaling. One common mistake for yin yoga is to try to approach yin with a yang mind. That will be a little bit of a challenge. If you're working hatha yoga, you probably will be here 5 to 7 breaths, and you're gonna go and stretch out to your max. We want to remind you that from beginning to end of this entire sequence, you might be there 7 minutes with the legs like this, because we're gonna go one side, we're gonna go the other side.
So in this case, I won't recommend that right away you go to your max. Imagine if I go and open the legs all this wide, it will be unmanageable to be here 7 minutes. So instead of going right away into a 10, I will work with maybe a 6 or a 7 into my flexibility, so then it's manageable to hold. It doesn't become a torture or dangerous for your body. So as I found my 6 right here, the first we're gonna do is warm up into the side bodies, working into long and hard meridians. So we're gonna mirror each other. Right hand is gonna release into your right leg. And you can grab into your big toe if you want to, resting your forearm on your leg. The left hand is gonna go into your waist, rolling the shoulder back. On the next inhale, you're gonna bring your arms up, up, up. And on the exhale, bring the arms or the arm over the ear. I am not holding any secret in my teaching because I'm afraid that other teachers will take them. Quite the opposite. This is what I do for a living. I create teachers in yin yoga. So maybe this practice can help teachers that are already building out there a yin practice to give correct, accurate, anatomically suggested cues for your yin students. And don't teach according what your body can do. And if you want to be a good yin teacher, what you do is give all the scenarios, from the one that is very mobile to the one that is very, very, very rigid, to the one that have long legs to the one that has short legs, and try to get all the anatomic constitutions that you can think of and all the cues that you can give. So right here will be something all levels. If you're not very flexible, you could be with the hand outside the leg and be up here. And let's go to advance. You can go all the way down. Bring your hand over without letting this hip lift. And we're gonna do a minute hold after you apply first and second tattva, first and second principle. Listen to the breath. Resolve your edges according to your own body. Each opportunity I have in yin yoga to close the eyes, of course, I give my eyes a break and I close the eyes. Breathe in. To complete these, have 5 last breaths. Continue lowering the opposite hip down to the floor. No pain or pinching on your back. Be careful. Now to come out after the 5th breath, pick up your arms so you're not so heavy. Lift up the chest a bit, and on the next inhale, slowly, come up, come up, come up, come up. And on the exhale, let your hands go down. Before the other side, do a little bit of rolls into your pelvic bowl, going forward, going back. A little bit of counter pose, doing pelvic rolls into the other direction. This is gonna feel actually
Very, very, very nice and soothing. And when you're ready, back to center. Prepare to the other side. This will be something very sensible, gentle, going there and just bring your arm over the ear. Remember, if your legs are shaking, your hamstrings are lifted. There's no yin yoga there. There's a yang hold because there's muscle engaged and shaken. So you need to stabilize the joint immediately. If that's your case, you put length into the knee with a full blanket or even with more propping. And if you don't have that, you can bring it all the way down to the floor. Your hand is going to be right here. You take a deep inhale, start right here. If you want a little bit more advanced, you can go and rest your hand into the shin and start reaching out and forward. Remember what we talked about. You don't go right away into a yang mind and get all that ripping apart sensation on your body because you're going to be here for a while. So it's better go from less to more into yin yoga. So you're going to get into the posture here, variation of dragonfly with side stretches, upper body yin yoga, long meridian, heart meridian with urinary tract meridian as well. Lymphatic drain meridian. This is a great pose for multi-meridian asana. And when you're here, make up your decision if you're going to be here. There's some students also that the neck is going to bug them here. With almost 15 years of practice, I learned my yin. So I share with you a variation that I really like. I put the elbow on the ground. The heel of my palm is going to hold the head so I forget that I have a neck. And then I can go and reach for the toe. This could be something that you enjoy and want to follow. Since in the other side I work without propping the neck, then I'm going to follow the same variation than the other side. I'm still in first and second tattva, which is resolving, finding the edge. I think I'm about right in here. I think certain abandonment of yang tissues could be done, so there is no muscle fighting. So I can go into the yin tissues, the ligaments, the joint, the bone. Tendons could be a yin-yang kind of tissue. Reminding you that every opportunity that I have to close eyes, I do close eyes. So it becomes a very internal practice, very meditative, very personal. We're in a hole here for 5 more breaths. Count them. Now bring your arm up, and on the next inhale,
Let the arm, the neck start to lift so it's not so heavy to rise. Bring yourself up slowly. Get up, get up, get up right there. Stretch for a moment. And on the exhale, bring your hands down into the floor and start doing a little bit of pelvic rolls. One more time. Oh, massaging into your hips. And it's so funny, even when I'm not doing chaturangas, sun salutations, and going up and down 100 times, I am sweating. That's the beautiful phenomenon of yin yoga, that it makes you sweat as you hold, probably because you're letting extra heat get out from the liver. Like Taoist medicine, Chinese medicine, we're working and balancing those meridians that control these big, big organs. They have so much to do with you well functioning. So that heat leaving your body is a good thing. You don't want it inside, you want it outside. So it's okay if you sweat. Now to finish this sequence in Dragonfly, we're going to go forward and down. So again, we're gonna go from less to more. Some people going forward just means to go and do this little tilt because the spine immediately locks. And there's nothing wrong with you. It's maybe the way that your lesser trochanter, this is the head of the femur, major trochanter, then you have a little bone that is called lesser trochanter. It might found again already too fast into the bone, so it's bone against bone. There's not more mobility forward, and it's fine. The other situation could be that your back is too used to sitting position, so you're curled back this way, and you're gonna find your cushion by the end of the cushion, so allow the pelvis to open. And the other thing could be that there is extreme inflexibility on hamstrings, and that was it. Another variation that I like to offer in here is to bring a bolster, lift it up a little bit with a cushion. So you have few centimeters above you to fall down, down, down. That's something so pleasant. Maybe some students can go and remove this. Place this underneath your forearms and hold into a yin pose right here for a long time. And maybe some of you will be able to go all the way down, all the way down. Observe how my body is saying yes, and I am not forcing, I am not pushing, I'm letting the body fall down and find its natural edge. And I can tell you that right here, this is my edge with no pain. You could be up there, you could be on a bolster, you could be on a cushion and a bolster. Find your variation, resolved, and then hold. I think this is one of my favorite yin postures, Dragonfly. I really get to connect to meridians. I feel them vibrating. I feel them pulsing. I feel them tingling. All the back of my leg against the ground having this soft compression. Why is it soft compression? Because the ground right now is hard and the flesh on my body is soft. So there is hard with soft, and I can go deeper. As the breath continue, you might be able to go deeper down. That only happened because you can actually progress into yin yoga, finding new edges, and there's no a reason why you need to stay where you started. You can actually progress or change your mind and correct.
Breathe. Changing sides on my neck so the neck gets the same stimulation. Count last 5 breaths. And now bring your hands right underneath the shoulders. And let's bring yourself up on the next inhale. Rise, rise. Roll back, back, back like you were an angry cat. Curl of the perineum, scoop, scoop, scoop. Big moment coming. You're gonna place your hand behind you. Release one leg at a time. Oh, tons of sensations. Now the other leg. And let's windshield wiper from one side into the other. Oh man, I can feel that definitely. Now let's go into hammock. In Hatha Yoga, you know this is stable. Take a deep inhale. Activate a little bit of yang. Not everything is yang. Remember, we have these counter poses that bring your body back into a little bit of muscle to get your spine back in alignment, help you out with extension, lift. Take another 3 breaths if your hands and shoulders are safe and fine. Good. One last inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to go down, down, down. As soon as the glutes release down, let's go into all fours. We're going to get into hands and knees. A little bit of yang. Again, this is not going into yang yoga, but we can invite a little bit of yang asana to counter. Doing cat-cow for a few moments. Hands underneath the shoulders, shoulder width apart. Knees underneath the hips, hip width apart. Tuck your toes under. Take a deep inhale and lift the sit bones. Lift the chest. Rise up. This is actually going to feel spectacular right now. And on the exhale, go into round spine. Head is down. Scoop, scoop, scoop as much as you can. Relax the neck. Inhale, head up, lift up, arms are straight. Feel the sensation into your lower back, and on the exhalation, round, round, round. Inhale, head up, chest up, looking up, facing up. Last exhalation, roundness on your back right here. On the next inhale, come up to neutral back. Extend the hands out forward in front of you. Good. Hand shoulder width and rise up to downward facing dog. And just start to do intuitional movement. Hand shoulder width apart. Walk one foot up, the other one down. Push back, back, back. Good.
Now look forward in between your hands, get your blankets, your props ready, and as you inhale, the right leg is going to step forward in between your hands. Big, 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 big step. And you're going to place the back knee into the floor, into a low lunge. We're going to go into dragons, the advanced variations. I always, don't matter if I have mat or no mat, thick or not thick, I prop my kneecap. I have a little bit of a bony knee and it feels better if I prop it. Now, the front knee bends over the ankle. Never, for some cases, it's a good idea to overextend the knee, especially if you have meniscus problems. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is bring both hands inside your leg. You're gonna have your props ready in case you need it. And the first thing we're gonna do is open your foot sideways. Do a little bit of upper body yin yoga, putting continuous pressure or tension. Remember, tension in yin yoga is not about work, as tensions are stress, but tension means continuous stimulation into the joint, holding in. So you are putting weight into your hands. Meantime, you could send the knee a little bit farther back to get the edge into the front part of the leg and into your hip flexor, into the head of the femur. Once you found bone on bone into the head of the femur, it's time to stop and not to push any farther. Now, to move into the next stage of lizard, you could stay here. We're gonna try first less to more with this cushion, which it could be a block, which it could be a thick towel. You're gonna go down into your forearms, and that will be the second space where you can hold. The third and final place, advanced, will be going down into your forearms, and if your head can touch the ground, you put it on the ground. Otherwise, you can bring feast on top of feast. And if you don't have any knee concerns, that knee that is bent can open up into a butterfly, rolling on the outside edge of your foot, letting the knee open. And of course, this is really advanced. Please don't push it if it doesn't feel right for you. Keep breathing. Dragon is getting you fiery, isn't it? You can stick your tongue out, do dragon breaths, letting all the steam get out from your body. Everything out. Holding in here. Probably this is one of the toughest spaces to hold. Five more breaths, 5 respiraciones más. I will never teach these into a very beginner class because this place where we are is very advanced, especially if the knee is completely open sideways. You got to know your body before you tap into these advanced yin variations. And now slowly bring yourself up. Oy. Come up first into your hands. Poco a poco. Poco a poco in Spanish means little by little. Bring your foot center. Open your hand. Plant your hands into the ground. Back knee off the floor. Downward facing dog as a counter pose. Slowly scoot your leg back. Stretch. Any intuitive movement that might come into your mind, go ahead. If you need to shake your leg, shake the other leg. Tons of sensations, tingling, numbness, rustiness as you move in and out of the postures. And when you are ready, on the next inhale, let's go quickly into a high push-up. For a quick moment, you're gonna bring the knees down. And now slowly bring yourself down into the ground, and in between sides, we're gonna do just a minute into a back extension, because we have been going down in many poses. So to make this balance, we're gonna go up into a beautiful lift. Advance are gonna go into this, that is seal pose. If seal pose feels pinching in your lower back, you come to regular Sphinx pose. In any case, it should be a pleasant moment. Trying to counterpose so many flexions. Now we're working with upper body yin yoga. So you're using again continuous tension into your wrist. Information, long bone, attached with long bone. And these are the joints that connects them all. Wrist, elbow, and shoulders. Drop the shoulders, long, beautiful necks. We're not gonna be here a long time. Be careful if the sacrum or lower back are pinching or hurting. You might need to come down. If it's feeling sensational, just enjoy also the beauty of the rewarding moments in yin yoga. The moments are just so special, so full of pleasant sensation. There are also moments that are intense. There are moments that challenge you. I think that's what is my favorite style of yoga of all. I get to feel the body, my limits, get to know edges. Take another inhale. On the exhalation, we're gonna go down into the forearms, down into the ground. Place hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, back to hands and knees. And on the exhale, you continue going up into downward facing dog, doing any adjustments necessary. Getting your props ready, blankets, bolster to do dragon into the other side on the next inhale. Now the left leg is going to step all the way forward in between your hands right there. Back knee is going to go down into the floor. Because my knee is a little bit bony, it hurts if I don't put a blanket, and I do not like to work with pain. Intensity is one thing, hurting my body is another. And in yin yoga, pain is not part of the dialogue. So right here, opening up, the same variation, creating space for my upper body. And the first holding will be with upper body yin yoga, putting a little bit of continuous tension onto your wrist and into your arms. These actually kind of things are really good to prevent arthritis on your hands. And right now, especially in quarantine, we're using cell phones a lot, computers a lot, so your hands are always into this direction. What we're doing right now is giving the absolute different information for your joint. Hold on here. That's the first stage of your lizard, of your dragon. Now, second is going to be getting into your block. And see if you can come a little bit farther down to the forearms. From less to more. Try not to go deep too quick.
And if your body is showing you space and is allowing you to explore anything deeper, you will remove this. And we're gonna go all the way down into the forearms, into the elbows. And of course, if your body will show you there is the right variation, you can open up, rolling on the outside of your foot into this half butterfly. I will be absolutely lying telling you that I am in the most comfortable, relaxing place in my practice. This is not relaxing for me right now, but I am not tense. This is slightly uncomfortable, but I am not in pain. This is something a little bit difficult to manage, but it's not impossible. And if you can review the few sentences I just gave you, those are things that happen in life sometimes. Is this quarantine impossible? No, it's not impossible, but of course it's challenging. Is staying at home all the time is poking my nervous system? It might be, but I'm stronger than the poking and I can bring reason and calmness in my head. Am I in pain for sometimes being social distancing? And can I let that pain be self-corrected to uncomfort so we're not suffering? And all of these are tools that you can start gaining by learning the shadow, the yin, the places that we sometimes don't like to go in. 5 more breaths. Alright, let's begin by slowly lifting the chest. One hand and then the other going up, up, up. Bring your legs center. Place your hands right underneath the shoulders. Bring the back knee off the ground. Put the blanket off to a side, and on the next inhale, let's bring the leg back, into downward facing dog, and give yourself few moments to stretch. On the next inhale, we're gonna go into a high push-up just for a moment. On the next exhale, bring the knees down. In a variation between Urdhva Mukha and seal pose, relax upper dog for 5 breaths, shoulders down, open spine. Counterposing a little bit of the moments that you were forward bending or flexing forward with an uplifting pose that extends your spine, upper body yin yoga. And finally, on the next inhale, bring yourself back into your knees. And we go into Balasana, Child's Pose. Comforting your back, comforting your groins, your hip flexors, soothing into your body.
Bring your hands right underneath the shoulders. Bring yourself up. One vertebrae at a time, rolling your body, lifting up, bring shoulders up and down. Roll to one side, relax the legs in front of you, let the ankles rest, mobilize your feet, mobilize the toes. Come all the way to the front of your mat. Extend your arms in front and one vertebrae at a time. We're gonna start the way down slowly. One vertebrae at the time. When the heels start to come off the ground, hug the knees into your chest. Open up into Happy Baby will be the last asana today. Not much on your back today, you know. For doing a very, very, very complete advanced yoga, you probably need 90 minutes, but this is an excellent sequence if you don't have that much time. This Happy Baby, you could easily do 2 variations. The first minute, spend it with knee bend. Heel aligned with the ankle, pushing the tailbone on the ground, head on the floor as I'm doing right now. And the second holding could be in a full split, to stretch a little bit into the hamstring after the long dragon flight we did. Showing you 2 variations. If you did this and absolutely your body went into shock and it hurt, bend your knees again, no problem. But if you feel fine, you're gonna open up right here. Make sure that the shoulders are not hurting. Get a good grip on your toes so you can relax. Last 5 breaths. Now slowly bend your knees, return your legs to the center, squeeze the knees into your chest, take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, bring the forehead up to the knees, closing your spine, closing. And now bring the head down into the floor. Bring the legs down to the ground. And we have finished our asana, but there's something left. Shavasana. Extending your legs. Bringing your arms by your sides. Do any adjustments on your back you need to feel comfortable. Allow your eyes to close, and if you have all the time in the world, I recommend you stay here 10 and even 15 minutes if you have achieved a deep sense of relaxation. I don't know what's going on in your house, Maybe 5 minutes will be the recommended length. But please don't move forward without this very important asana. I'm gonna leave you here in silence, enjoying of this moment. I will see you next time. Please come up when it's time for you to come up, closing your class the same way that you started it. And let the echo of Yin vibrate in your entire body. I'm saying goodbye from Anna. Remember, at the end of the class, if you want to scroll down into the link for donations or sharing, we need more followers so we can upload faster. We thank you so much for your attention one more time. Enjoy as long as you want to this Shavasana. Shanti Shanti. Namaste, and relax, fully relax.